सबको सादर नमस्ते जी. Today is Monday, November the 17th, 2025. We will start our session on Sandhya Upasana and Mantra Swadhyaya. आप सभी लोगों का बहुत बहुत स्वागत है जो हमारे जूम से या फिर सोशल मीडिया से कनेक्टेड हैं. एंड दिस प्रोग्राम इज बीइंग ब्रॉट टू यू बाय आर्या प्रतिनिधि सभा अमेरिका. हमारे आज के स्पीकर हैं आचार्य वरुण देव जी फ्रॉम सियाटल. नमस्ते आचार्य जी, आपका स्वागत है आज संध्या सेशन में. प्लीज आप संध्या से स्टार्ट करिए.
नमस्ते जी, धन्यवाद. सभी को सादर नमस्ते. आइए हम सभी मिलकर परमेश्वर का ध्यान करेंगे. परमेश्वर को अपने एकाग्रता का अपने चित्त में अपनी मुख्य साधना का साध्य बनाकर ईश्वर की उपस्थिति को अनुभव करने का प्रयास करेंगे. मंत्रों के माध्यम से, मंत्रों पे एकाग्रता के माध्यम से. और वो तभी संभव होगा जब हमारा मन सभी संसार के विषयों के विचार से दूर होगा. 3 बार लंबा गहरा श्वास लेकर ओम की ध्वनि का उच्चारण करेंगे. अथ ब्रह्म यज्ञः. ओम. ओम. ओम भूर्भुवः स्वः तत्सवितुर्वरेण्यं भर्गो देवस्य धीमहि धियो यो नः प्रचोदयात्. ओम शन्नो देवीरभिष्टय आपो भवन्तु पीतये संयोरभिस्रवन्तु नः. ओम वाक् वाक्. ओम प्राणः प्राणः. ओम चक्षुः चक्षुः. ओम श्रोत्रं श्रोत्रम्. ओम नाभिः. ओम हृदयम्. ओम कण्ठः. ओम शिरः. ओम बाहुभ्यां यशोबलम्. ओम करतलकरपृष्ठे. ओम भूः पुनातु शिरसि. ओम भुवः पुनातु नेत्रयोः. ओम स्वः पुनातु कण्ठे. ओम महः पुनातु हृदये. ओम जनः पुनातु नाभ्याम्. ओम तपः पुनातु पादयोः. ओम सत्यं पुनातु पुनः शिरसि. ओम खं ब्रह्म पुनातु सर्वत्र. ओम भूः. ओम भुवः. ओम स्वः. ओम महः. ओम जनः. ओम तपः. ओम सत्यम्. ओम ऋतं च सत्यं चाभिद्धात् तपसोऽध्यजायत. ततो रात्र्यजायत. ततः समुद्रो अर्णवः. ॐ समुद्रादर्णवादधी संवत्सरो अजायत अहोरात्राणि विदधद्विश्वस्य मिषतो वशी ॐ सूर्याचन्द्रमसौ धाता यथा पूर्वमकल्पयत् दिवं च पृथिवीं चान्तरिक्षमथो स्वः ॐ शन्नो देवीरभिष्टय आपो भवन्तु पीतये संयोरभिस्रवन्तु नः ॐ प्राचीदिगग्निरधिपतिरसितो रक्षितादित्या ईशवः तेभ्यो नमोऽधिपतिभ्यो नमो रक्षितृभ्यो नम ईशुभ्यो नमएभ्यो अस्तु योऽस्मान्द्वेष्टियं वयं द्विष्मस्तं वोजम्भे दध्मः ॐ दक्षिणादिगिन्द्रोऽधिपतिस्थिरश्चिराजीरक्षिता पितर ईशवः तेभ्यो नमोऽधिपतिभ्यो नमो रक्षितृभ्यो नम ईशुभ्यो नमएभ्यो अस्तु योऽस्मान्द्वेष्टियं वयं द्विष्मस्तं वोजम्भे दध्मः ॐ प्रतीचीदिग्वरुणोऽधिपतिः प्रीदाकुरक्षितान्नमीषवः तेभ्यो नमोऽधिपतिभ्यो नमो रक्षितृभ्यो नम ईशुभ्यो नमएभ्यो अस्तु योऽस्मान्द्वेष्टियं वयं द्विष्मस्तं वोजम्भे दध्मः ॐ उदीचीदिक्सोमोऽधिपतिः स्वजो रक्षिता शनिरिषवः तेभ्यो नमोऽधिपतिभ्यो नमो रक्षितृभ्यो नम ईशुभ्यो नमएभ्यो अस्तु योऽस्मान्द्वेष्टियं वयं द्विष्मस्तं वोजम्भे दध्मः ॐ ध्रुवादिग्विष्णुरधिपतिः कल्माषग्रीवो रक्षिता वीरुध ईशवः तेभ्यो नमोऽधिपतिभ्यो नमो रक्षितृभ्यो नम ईशुभ्यो नमएभ्यो अस्तु योऽस्मान्द्वेष्टियं वयं द्विष्मस्तं वोजम्भे दध्मः ॐ ऊर्ध्वादिग्बृहस्पतिरधिपतिः श्वित्रो रक्षिता वर्षमीषवः तेभ्यो नमोऽधिपतिभ्यो नमो रक्षितृभ्यो नम ईशुभ्यो नमएभ्यो अस्तु योऽस्मान्द्वेष्टियं वयं द्विष्मस्तं वोजम्भे दध्मः ॐ उद्वयं तमसस्परिस्वः पश्यन्त उत्तरं देवं देवत्रा सूर्यमगन्मज्योतिरुत्तमम् ॐ उदुत्यं जातवेदसं देवं वहन्ति केतवः दृशे विश्वाय सूर्यम् ॐ चित्रं देवानामुदगादनीकं चक्षुर्मित्रस्य वरुणस्याग्निः आप्राद्या वा पृथिवी अन्तरिक्षं सूर्य आत्मा जगतस्तस्थुषश्च स्वाहा। ॐ तच्चक्षुर्देवहितं पुरस्ताच्छुक्रमुच्चरत्। पश्येम शरदाः शतं जीवेम शरदाः शतं शृणुयाम शरदाः शतं प्रब्रवाम शरदाः शतमदीनाः स्याम शरदाः शतम् भूयश्च शरदाः शतात्। ॐ भूर्भुवः स्वः तत्सवितुर्वरेण्यं भर्गो देवस्य धीमहि धियो यो नः प्रचोदयात्। हे ईश्वर दयानिधे भवत्कृपयानेन जपोपासनादिकर्मणा धर्मार्थकाममोक्षाणां सद्यः सिद्धिर्भवेन्नः। ॐ नमः शम्भवाय च मयो भवाय च नमः शङ्कराय च मयस्कराय च नमः शिवाय च शिवतराय च। ॐ शान्तिः शान्तिः शान्तिः। In our mantra Swadhyaya series of this Shrankhala of Aaryabhivinaya Granth of Dvitiya Prakash, in the last session we did Swadhyaya of 9th mantra for the Satya Vijnan, strength, endurance, and the righteous anger, not anger, but the righteous fear, fiery courage to fight with the ignorance, and all that withstands with the insincerity and falsehood. And today we are on the 10th mantra of Prathama Prakash, of the Dvitiya Prakash, which is also very inspiring mantra. So the mantra is Om Pareetya Bhootani Pareetya Lokaan Pareetya Sarvaaha Pradisho Dishascha Upasthaya Prathamajaamritasyaatmanaatmanam-abhi samvivesha. This mantra is from Yajurveda again, Adhyay chapter 32nd, mantra 11. And the mantra itself is very significant for the sadhak, for one who wants to dwell in the presence of Paramatma everywhere and always. In the eternity, the one who wants to live in for that kind of sadhak, to make ourselves fortified with the true devotion and faith. This mantra is very useful to fortify our devotion and faith in Paramatma, because it is a declaration from Paramatma about his omnipresent, pervading consciousness all around. So the mantra starts with Paritya. Paritya means pervading, filling, entering thoroughly. And Maharshi Dayanand Ji, in his Yajurveda Bhashya, giving the meaning of this, अर्थ of this word is सब ओर से व्याप्त होके. So the Paramatma who is pervading everything from all around. Paritya. Then Bhootani. Bhoot, there are two meanings of Bhoot. One is Bhoot means Prani, all the creatures, everything which has soul, the animated world, the one who is conscious. And the second meaning of Bhoot, we know the Bhoot, Panch Mahabhoot, Bhoot Jagat, not in that sense of superstitions, Bhoot, but Bhoot in the sense of all the elemental elements of the nature. So, Paritya Bhutani, Paramatma is pervading thoroughly all the Bhoot, Prani Jagat and Aprani Jagat. Paritya, again, Paramatma is pervading, filling everything thoroughly, entering into everything, Lokaan. So Lokaan, again, Lok means from Prakriti to Prithvi. So what is there in Prakriti? Mool, Prakriti, Sat, Rajas, Tamas, and then Sat, Raj or Tam, then all the elements which are created with the combination of these three fundamental particles, elements, then Mahatattva, Buddhi, Ahankar, Tanmatraएं, Panch Man, Panch Mahabhoot, and then so on. So basically, Paramatma is pervading all the lok. Paramatma is pervading everything in this world. All the loks, all the worlds. Paritya Sarvaaha. So Sarvaha means everything. But here, why this word is used, Sarvaha, it is emphasizing the completeness. Sarvaha, everything, being pervaded by Paramatma. And then, again it is said, Pradisho, DISHASCHA. Pradisha, Pradisha, there is one word, Disha and Pradisha. What is Pradisha? The four main Dishaएं, east, west, north, west, Purv, Paschim, Uttar, Dakshin. And then there comes 6 more kon between the every two disha, like between Ishan kon, between east and north, northeast, Agneya kon, southeast, Nairitya kon, southwest, Vayavya kon, Vayavya disha, northwest, Urdhva, upward, and Adho disha, downward. So these Paramatma is pervading all the dishas, all 10 directions and sub-directions. This is the meaning of these words. Then Upasthaya. Upasthaya means approaching, to be coming near to the Paramatma, realizing that Paramatma. How? Prathamajam. How? Maharshi Dayanand is writing in the Yajurveda Bhashya that Upasthaya Prathamajam, प्रथम कल्पादि में उत्पन्न 4 वेद रूप वाणी को, means after Paramatma has provided this knowledge of the Ved to all to the welfare of the Jivatma, then Paramatma is describing to all the Jivatmas to get acquainted with this knowledge and come near to me. First by knowing yourself, then Paramatma, the Supreme Self, Ritasya, of the truth, of the cosmic order. By knowing that order, by knowing that cosmic universal truth, it is possible for Paramatma to realize the Paramatma by first knowing himself and then knowing the Paramatma. Abhisamvivesha, enter into or realize deeply. And now one can ask that how can Paramatma be, how can one enter into the Paramatma? If Paramatma is that Parameshwar is everywhere, omnipresent, how can one enter into that? So we have to go more deeply into the words, the meaning of Atma. What is Atma? At satatya gamane. This is the root from where it is coming, means that which is constantly gatishil, moving. But Paramatma is not moving. How can we apply this word on the Atma, on the Paramatma? So there are 3 basically meaning of this word gati. The first meaning is jnana, knowledge, consciousness. The second is gaman, movement. And the third is the prapti. Prapti means attainment. So on Jivatma, the jnana, the meaning of jnana is being applied, is applicable. Of course, Jivatma is conscious. The second thing is gaman. Jivatma is moving because it is ekdeshiya. It is not sarvavyapak. It has to move from one place to another. And third, prapti. Prapti means sarvatra, which is present everywhere. But Jivatma is not present everywhere. It is ekdeshiya. So this third meaning is applicable only on the Parameshwar. So that is why this word is connected, is used for both, for Atma and Paramatma. So one can attain that consciousness, one can attain, enter. Enter means to become conscious of the presence or to live in that supreme consciousness of Paramatma. That is the meaning of samvivesha, abhisamvivesha. Entering is not here in the physical sense, because words are there in order to make us understand the meaning or the having the experience of that state of consciousness, that in that samadhi avastha, in that highest state of mind, when all the foundations, all the limitations which are there in the lower consciousness, which means when our mind is bound to think about this world, when there are klesh, when there is avidya in the mind. And what is avidya? Avidya is to perceive something not as it is. That is avidya. That is ignorance. Not when one cannot see the object, the things, the world as it is, then it called avidya. जो जैसा है उसको वैसा ना देखना ही अविद्या है, मिथ्या ज्ञान है. So how can we have that vidya, that knowledge, true knowledge? Only by first doing practice of yoga abhyas, so that our awareness becomes more and more wide and more accurate, so that we don't just confuse anything with Atma and Paramatma. That will only come by the realization, by the Sakshatkar. And Sakshatkar will only be possible when we will go near to the Vedvani, when we will go near to the practicing of yoga abhyas. And by doing that yoga abhyas, we will uplift our consciousness. And then we will enter into the consciousness of Paramatma, that supreme awareness, which is liberating, which is enlightening, and that consciousness is, of course, full of bliss, ananda, for which we are always striving in our life. So now let's read the Hindi part, Vyakhyan by Maharshi Dayanand, and then English one, and then we will have some more insights into the mantra. So the Vyakhyan is, Vaha Parameshwar Paritya Bhootani, Sab Bhoot is equal to जीवों में और परित्य लोकान, आकाश और प्रकृति से लेके पृथ्वी पर्यंत सब संसार में व्याप्त होके परिपूर्ण भर रहा है. So आकाश and prakriti, from the मूल prakriti to the पृथ्वी पर्यंत, from कारण प्रकृति to the कार्य प्रकृति, तथा सर्वा दिशः, सब लोक, पूर्व आदि पूर्वादि सब दिशा और प्रदिशः, परित्य ऐशन्यादि उपदिशा, ऊपर नीचे, अर्थात एक कण भी उनके बिना रिक्त खाली नहीं है. How valuable is this truth, this fact for a sadhak, the one who is trying to practice yoga abhyas and trying to uplift his consciousness towards the divine consciousness, that whenever we feel lonely, whenever many people have this problem that we feel loneliness, but suppose if someone feels that presence of the divine all the time, in all the directions, everywhere, how soothing even is this idea, how comfortable, relaxing, because Paramatma is there, our Param Sakha, Param Bandhu, Param Mitra, our Ma, our Pita, our Acharya, our Nyayadhish, our Raja, our Master. So when that Paramatma, all that relation with whom we can come in contact, when that Paramatma is pervading everywhere and always and from all directions, how can that person be alone in this world. So from this idea, this thought, this vichar, Ved vichar, we have to fortify our faith on Paramatma. Because if we look at practically at our life, we are always surrounded by the ordinary thoughts, ordinary emotions, ordinary sensations, excitements, just unnecessary, useless movements in the life. But when we are centered, when we are ekagra, when we are concentrated in order to move towards the divine, towards the Paramatma, when we make sincere efforts towards that, when we put our energy into that, then something useful comes out. When something meaningful comes up in our life. Otherwise, in outward life, even the small bird is trying to search food for the baby birds. So this will go on. We cannot stop this karmic cycle. If we want to keep healthy, we have to do exercises. If we want to be healthy, we have to eat good food, healthy food, nutritious food, sattvic food. If we want good mind state of mind, good mental health, we need optimistic attitude. We need practically the people who supports ourselves, who puts confidence in ourselves, and who believes us. And the same way, if we want the spiritual health, the spiritual life, the spiritual progress, along with all these I must say, the subordinate parts of life. Of course, these are necessary, but this is not mukhya. The mukhya or gond, the wise people are those who have understood the meaning between what is mukhya and what is gond. And what is happening, the paradox is that we have made this gond, this subordinate fact, the part of life, the very predominant. And what is predominant, we have, it is on the background, not even in the background. We only occasionally remember Paramatma according to our comfortability whenever we want. Otherwise, most of the time we are just gossiping in our life. But that will not help. The thing only will help when we are sincerely putting our efforts towards realizing the Paramatma, towards moving towards Him, slowly but surely. So for that, we need to every day do Swadhyaya, do yoga abhyas, dhyan. Every day we have to sit. If we don't know how to sit quietly, we have at least to do pranayam. Make few minutes, do japa with mantra and meaning. Or if we don't know any mantra, then only do the chanting of Om only with the meaning of Sarva Rakshak. Because Om is the primary name of Paramatma, and if we call Him sincerely, the answer will come. But it depends on our faith, our orientation of life. So this idea, the first part of the mantra, is to fortify and intensify our devotion and faith. प्रथम प्रथमोत्पन्न जीव सब संसार को ही समझना. सो जीव आदि आत्मना, अपने आत्मा से अत्यंत सत्याचरण, विद्या, श्रद्धा, भक्ति से ऋतस्य यथार्थ सत्य स्वरूप परमात्मा को उपस्थाय यथावत जान के, उपस्थित निकट प्राप्त होके, अभिसंविवेश, उसके अभिमुख होके, आत्मानम, उसमें प्रविष्ट अर्थात परमानंद स्वरूप परमात्मा में प्रवेश करके, सब दुखों से छूट के सदैव उसी परमानंद में रहता है। सो प्रथम जाम, प्रथम उत्पन्न जीव, सब संसार को ही समझना। वी हैव टू अंडरस्टैंड फर्स्ट with the help of the Veda, as Maharshi Dayanand Ji did its meaning in Bhashya। प्रथमजाम 4 वेद वाणी, वेद रूप वाणी को सम्यक सेवन करके उसका, only then we can realize the Paramatma। First we have to realize ourselves and then Paramatma। आत्मा से आत्मा को जानना, आत्मा, that our individual soul has to make efforts in order to realize the supreme soul, that Paramatma। The English version is that supreme Lord pervading all beings fills and sustains every living creature, extending himself throughout all worlds, from space and nature down to the earth, that completely permeates the entire universe. All realms, all directions, such as east and others, and all sub-directions like the northeast and others, above and below. Not even a single particle exists without him. Understand that the Prathamajam, the firstborn, the Jiva, refers to all created beings. A person through truthfulness, knowledge, faith, and devotion contemplates and realizes the true, eternal nature of the Supreme Being. By approaching him means Paramatma, becoming inwardly aligned with him, and entering into him means becoming conscious of him. That is, by entering, realizing into the supreme bliss, such a person becomes free from all sorrow and forever abides in that eternal bliss. So, if we look at the ending of this Vyakhya, basically everyone in this world is trying to find that Anand in the life through all means. One is trying to get it physically, but unfortunately, in this world, in this Prakriti, that fulfillment will not be there. It does not have that bliss which is desired, which is aspired by the soul. Only when we turn towards the divine, turn towards Paramatma, that is the only way. Na anya pantha vidyate yayanaya. In the previous mantra, it was declared by the Paramatma himself that if we really want to get rid of the death, to immortalize ourselves, and this is indeed our necessity. The Paramatma who is pervading all bhoot, all lok, all disha, all pradishaye, each and every particle, then to realize, to feel the presence of that Paramatma is indispensable for our integral well-being. Integral means our physical, our social, our spiritual, our mental, everything comes into that word integral. So if we want that integral progress, fulfillment, we need to turn to the divine. There is no other way. Thank you everyone for listening to me. Dhanyavad. Shanti Path. ॐ द्यौः शान्तिरन्तरिक्षं शान्तिः पृथिवी शान्तिरापः शान्तिरोषधयः शान्तिः वनस्पतयः शान्तिर्विश्वे देवाः शान्तिर्ब्रह्म शान्तिः सर्वं शान्तिः शान्तिरेव शान्तिः सामा शान्तिरेधि ॐ शान्तिः शान्तिः शान्तिः। सभी को सादर नमस्ते जी।